I think I'm someone who, rather than barks orders and expects compliance, I'm more likely to give a task or an introduction than work alongside people to achieve the desired outcome. I like to encourage the sharing of ideas, and I like to ensure that everyone has been heard. I feel if they aren't being heard, they're likely to become disgruntled, and then they're not going to be working for or with the team. I let people get on with things, and then I see my role as trying to fit in and work alongside people who need help or me to act as a sounding board. I think this fits in with the Te Kotahitanga Effective Teacher profile, which I mentioned in my last assignment, in terms of looking at ARCO, or reciprocal learning, where the teacher in the classroom doesn't necessarily hold all the knowledge and can learn from the student. So I see that in my role as a leader as well. I'm not necessarily going to know everything, and I'm going to have to work with my team to achieve the goal. In the leadership style quizzes online, I found that I was coercive, a pace setter, visionary, affiliative, democrative, and also a coaching style of leader. In one of the other quizzes I came up as participative, laissez-faire, authoritarian, procedural, and transformational. I think this fits with what I see myself as and didn't come as much of a surprise to me.
Ms. Kelly puts herself in the student's position when she teaches us, and it helps us understand the work even more. And she always has a bubbly personality, and she gives us the option to do what we have to do, and it gives us a variety of things to do in class. And she marks my work all the time, and she comments on it, and it helps me progress even more. And she has one-on-one conversations with me, and yeah, it helps me improve on my work.
Ms. Kelly's teaching methods are actually quite nice and pretty good, because she lets us get along with whatever we want to do, and the parts that we need to do she'll just let us do easily, but the parts we need help with she'll help with when we need it, and also we're allowed to follow our own interests.
When she teaches, she will have one-on-one conversations with you, so it's easier.
She interacts well with all the children and helps us to improve our English skills. Also, she interacts with us one-on-one to make sure we understand what we're doing and how we can improve our work. And she also helps us set goals.
I like Miss because she has one-on-one time with us and is able to talk to us about our individual weaknesses and strengths. She lets me use my out-of-the-ordinary topics, and which probably no other teacher would ever allow.
Yeah, she doesn't get distracted, eh? Like, she's straightforward. If
Helps
like,
us out.
yeah,
Like individually, like if we have our own troubles. Yes.
she's always there if you need help, and
She understands if we struggle with something, and she always helps us out with it without just
her
dragging
mom.
on. You understand if we don't understand something. Like, you don't
I'm
make
not
me feel
understanding
stupid.
what you're
You
talking
don't
about.
make me feel stupid.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I do something wrong, I'm not sitting there like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get into so much trouble, this is so bad. You're just like, okay, we can change this and work on that.
I feel that Melissa Kelly is a person, great personality, warm, approachable. As a leader within anything that she does, she makes sure that she avails herself for everybody to feel that they can approach her, ask her any questions. She never says no. She's got a lot of patience, takes the time out to make sure that whatever your question is, that you know you get it, and that you don't feel like I'm going to struggle with this. I feel that in any format of facilitating that she does, she always puts everyone else above herself. She makes sure that people have clarity about whatever she presents to them. And I feel that as a leader, she excels in that department. She does things that sort of challenges you and makes you think about things, and also open yourself to change and wanting to try things different. And as an e-learner facilitator, that is something I personally have felt that I've learned a lot from her, and she's always there to just open herself to teach me new things and stuff. So I feel that as a leader, she is amazing, and I just feel that, yep, she's a person that I can approach.
So Melissa is acting Head of Learning English this term for us, and prior to this term she has obviously taken on leadership roles because she's a long-serving member of our learning area, but it's really crystallised her style and opportunities for her to do leadership type things. And she's not a dictatorial leader by any stretch of the imagination, and what she does is she tends to get alongside people and assist them. And so people identified a need, or she identifies a need for them, and make sure that she encourages them to advance themselves or do different things. Because she does have a lot to offer, not only obviously in e-learning, which is one of her strengths, but also in senior English, and really fantastic innovative ideas for junior English to get kids involved. And it's really, really good to see her starting to play to her strengths and letting us be part of that.
In my classroom, I try to make tasks open-ended so that learners can go about things how they want. So either I'll make the content their choice or the artifact they are making their choice. I feel that this creates a learning environment where learners feel comfortable and that they are a part of the learning. It's not just something that's happening to them. I then give them time to think about what they are doing, and I go around the room and help individuals as they need it. So I could be a coach, talking someone through how to do something. I could be acting as a critical friend. I'm not quite sure about that, have you thought of this? Or I act as a facilitator. Such and such in our room has great ideas, why don't you go pair up with them? Or why don't you go try having a look at this, it could really be helpful because of. I think this leadership style caters well to the diverse range of learners that I have in my classroom, in terms of different abilities and interests. So the way my classroom is run by me as a leader, I think fits in with the Te Kotahitanga Effective Teacher profile, in that I am considering ngā whakaparengatanga, which is creating a secure and well-managed learning environment. By me letting the kids do what they want, not do what they want like running around like crazy people, but pursuing either their interests through texts they bring in or the different things they can create as artifacts. I'm creating a learning environment that is well managed, and it's also secure for them because they feel that their ideas are valued. This leadership approach also takes into consideration wānanga, which is encouraging learners to be themselves. So if my student wants to bring in some of their cultural identity or something like that into the work they're producing, that's encouraged, and they feel valued and part of the learning. In the workplace, I am growing my confidence as a leader. I am currently our e-learning facilitator on staff, and I've just been made our assistant head of English. In the past, as an e-learning facilitator, I have led by giving or sharing ideas and then coaching staff on how to do certain things. This is because the staff have come from a low knowledge base, and I've been trying to build that up. I'm now trying to move towards more of a model that I would use in my classroom, so getting staff to build their own capabilities more independently or with greater ownership of what they're doing. I feel that this sort of onus placed back on the staff is more sustainable moving forward, rather than me having to come up with ideas all the time. I've tried setting up PDs so that ideas are being shared more. In my own department, this is working really well. We have a safe learning environment where creativity is encouraged, so I feel like the staff in our department are not as scared to say what they've been doing or offer their ideas up, whereas I feel like in other departments that's not happening so much. So I need to look at what's going on there and assess what I could do, come up with a plan. I think working in the classroom, it's a more confined environment, so I can see who's needing help and help them, whereas staff PD, we could be spread out all over the place. We're in different learning areas, different parts of the school, so it's not as easy to manage who's doing what or who needs help or that type of thing. I also don't want to put strict deadlines on things because I'm not too sure how to enforce that, and also I don't want to turn into a dictator and cause resentment amongst staff. I've been thinking about how in my roles as an e-learning facilitator and assistant head of English, how I can encourage and build the capabilities of our staff moving forward, and also ensuring that they believe in the vision and the direction of the school. To be honest, this is a big tricky issue and I haven't currently got the answers for it. So what I want to do is look more at transformational and other leadership models that are positive and could help with this goal. So I want to be doing more reading around leadership and taking things that I think that could work into my practice. I've also come to realise upon reflection that I do have a lot of knowledge that other staff don't have, because I've done other various PDs and things I've been keeping up with going on in education that some other staff have not. So I'm trying to make a greater effort and speak up. So I feel like I'm doing that now because when I started teaching at my school I was 21, I was a beginning teacher, and I've now been there 6 years and I'm probably counted as one of the more senior members on staff now. So I'm developing a confidence to put my ideas and knowledge forward. Not to say that I know the best way, but to provoke thought and new ideas. This has become really important for me at the moment because our school has kind of lost its way and its vision of what it started with, and at present senior management are looking at the big picture and where we want to go moving forward. So I'm having to develop that confidence and speak out and give my ideas because it's at a time where it is really pertinent that they're heard. So with our department having a safe learning environment, I found it's worked really well sharing ideas, because moving forward the staff in our department now have a range of stuff they are buzzing to try out and are keen to hear about how something else went and things like that. So they're all really keen on sharing, and it's opening up our classrooms more to each other and what's going on. It's really making teaching English fun again for some of the staff, I think. Something I've begun doing at school since being on this course is actually sharing my ideas and encouraging others to share theirs more. Through seeing the videos and stuff on the portal, it's really cool seeing what everyone else is doing. So, and you get ideas off that. So what I've been trying to do back at school in our department is encourage that kind of discussion and collaborative work amongst staff. I want to keep up my approachable manner and keep listening to my team and using their ideas moving forward, as I think this really works for me at the moment. I also want to research more about different leadership styles, what they are, when to apply them, and try out some new ideas and approaches in my practice. With this, I also want to look more critically at the leaders that I have around me at school and look at what they're doing, what works, what doesn't, and take on some of that insight and use that in my own practice. I also need to be more giving of myself. So what I mean by that is being a leader and putting myself and my ideas and knowledge out there as an example for others to follow. I find this quite a challenge at the moment. I'm quite an introvert at times, so it's kind of scary for me to step up and put myself out there for everyone else to see. However, I do realise it's only through doing this that I will gain the experience and confidence to keep doing so. And it's only by me putting myself out there to start with that others will feel comfortable to do that as well.